There are a couple of things I would like to talk about today. The first one being something I saw when I was watching a live stream on the UK Parliament's channel after Prime Minister's questions. This concerned a bunch of executives from the BBC answering questions about why they were going to remove the free TV licence for over 75s. Now my opinion is quite clear on this. Perhaps they should get Netflix. If they're Amazon Prime, there's some quality television on there. Good Omens being one of them, and I've been watching The Tick. It's quite funny. Then again, the cost of both the TV licence and Netflix is roughly similar, even if you spread the cost out. The BBC's response to this was, well, back in 1880, and that's not a joke, that's how he started his answer, to explain where a budget deficit started all those years ago and how it was subsidised to present. The BBC being renowned for blowing tens of millions on a new set for EastEnders, one of the most disgraceful, trashy TV shows known to exist ever. The BBC renowned for pumping money into antiquated historical period dramas, because they can't come up with anything creative or new, and have yet to do anything really moderately amusing since Mrs. Brown's Boys. I use the word moderately charitably. My view on all of this is that if there is a deficit, and for over 75s who do not have access to such entertainment, perhaps the government should step in some way. How they do it, I'm not sure. But the government, Philip Davis especially, put a considerable amount of pressure on the BBC to explain this, and they failed. Maybe instead of making those BBC Three Things Not to Say To videos, which I think I might do another one tomorrow to finish out the week because they're very funny and, yeah, I've got a good one. We may well address that. Perhaps they should stop making those and instead put the money elsewhere, into quality television. Then again, if we can give these over 75 access to the internet, perhaps they could just watch videos on YouTube. I'm coming up with an alternative answer, but these people do seem to like terrestrial TV, even if it is absolute crud. If you have a suggestion, by the way, for over 75s who do not have access to television, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever, by all means let me know in the comments below. Now moving on, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about Layla Laurel, a 23-year-old who has created an invention to end all inventions, to fight the scourge of misogyny, to defeat the patriarchy at the source, because as we all know, men's brains are in their testicles. I am of course talking about manspreading. This has been a problem that's been going on since it was added to the English dictionary in 2016. Amazing. It prompted spoof videos of women fake pouring bleach on men's crotches on public transport, which I fell for. Although I did warn that if it was, because I was a bit sceptical that it was to begin with, thank you Cult of Dusty for making it seem like I was outright saying it was. Very nice of you. The purpose of these inventions is to give women more space and restrict space for men. Now I should of course mention the biology right now. You see, when a man and a woman love each other really, really lots, much, totes, lots, right? Or a man and a woman just smash and it happens, a baby is born. One will have internal genitalia, the other will have external genitalia. I laughed when I said that because the first thing that popped into my head was a video of a politician in America sitting on his testicles and wincing, which in my head is really funny, painful, but funny. As many know, whenever a guy experiences ball pain around the world, every man that sees it feels it. I am unsure if this is something women also experience, and quite frankly I don't want to ask to find out. I did briefly mention it to someone, and they mentioned the nearest they get to that is twitching on their boob. I don't know how to respond to that. Anyway, the point is, external genitalia come at a price. The price being leg space. I'm sat at my desk right now, and while I am not in my mind manspreading, my legs are not together. That is because the consequence of having external genitalia is that leg space. They can't be together because it would cause me pain, discomfort. It would also be unreasonable to hold, based on how our hips are also designed. Simple biology explains that unless someone is now resting their testicles and penis on their lap, which by the way gets hugely inappropriate when someone sits on your lap, it just has wrong written all over it. Reeks of FBI, we've got one boys. That's what it reeks of, okay? And you can't do a mangina because try sitting on something that you own that causes you unending pain if it's flicked. A light tap, by the way, is enough to cripple a guy for about a day. I feel like I'm having to restate the obvious, because apparently Layla Laurel, in her fight against the dreaded patriarchy, pay gap, earnings gap, misogyny that is just everywhere in the Western world that can only truly be fixed with matriarchy, has come up with a solution that restricts men's ability to sit properly. Notice in the image here how these chairs are created. Women's one granting manspreading, and the boys' one not. The thing is, based on the width, it's not as bad as it looks, really. And actually, it's not as bad. But I don't think you're fighting manspreading by giving women the right to spread. This isn't a tit-for-tat thing. This isn't a what one should not be allowed to do, the other should. It just makes the girls look more like tomboys and the boys like they should just stand up. It also makes the girls look like they have thunder thighs and need to spread their legs like butter. And the guys look more athletic. Let's not forget here, while girls also come in many different shapes and sizes, so do guys. Some of us don't skip leg day after all, so we don't have small legs like the person in the video demonstration that is on the article I've linked below. The restrictive nature of this chair does not fight gender equality. It is a rubbish idea and a waste of wood. As someone that was raised a carpenter, I can safely tell you that skirting board on the guy's chair and the block aimed at, I don't know, is it going to have a vibrator setting at keeping the lady's legs open, which is totally classy, will not sell very well. It's a step in a direction I don't think anyone wants to go, and I should point out, while I personally like wooden chairs, not everyone does. Some of us just like to have nice comfy chairs. Man or woman, we all like to get comfortable, and these chairs do not reek of comfort. They look uncomfortable. While people are busy campaigning against the practice of manspreading, they do it from a place of ignorance. Unless we're all going to sit at a chair with nothing from the waist down so people can fully grasp the scope of just how difficult it is to sit with a sack between your legs, I don't know how you're going to try and bridge this horrific sexist gap. Now, Laurel actually graduated from university in Brighton with a degree in 3D design and craft, and has been commended for her innovative creation. I tend to disagree. I disagree because the chair backing is too low down, it doesn't offer sufficient support, the base where someone sits is too flat, it should be contoured. I would argue it's actually one of the most ergonomically redundant shapes I've ever come across. For people who sit on these chairs, while it does restrict men's movement and gives women greater movement, it also then restricts women's movement by encouraging them to spread their legs, therefore rendering both chairs utterly useless. Also, because of how far apart the back is for the guys on the legs, there is a chance that they will pull apart. Yeah, clever design doesn't take into account weight, and because of the way it's designed, it is likely to tear in the centre like most of these types of wooden chairs do. Or did you not know that? That's why this type of design is only really seen in pubs, because they can be quickly fixed with a screw in the end, along the centre bar that is, or a wedge. But even then, it is a temporary fix. When the legs are wider apart, they are more likely to bow, buckle, and collapse. You are an absolute, and I'm going to use a single profanity, Miss Laurel, who got what I'm going to dub in the context of what you have created a fake degree for being a dipshit. Congratulations. Now, to end this video, tonight 9 PM GMT over on the Omegon Plays and on Twitch, I'm going to be streaming Eurotruck. Also, new video on the Moisky Live channel about Labour, where the peers, or 60 of them in fact, took out an article, an ad even, in a newspaper yesterday, calling out the anti-Semitism within the party and how Jeremy Corbyn has utterly failed his party and the people. So if I don't see you over on the Omegon Plays channel, or over on Twitch, I hope you all have a lovely Thursday, and thank you all for listening.